Good morning again, everybody. This is a second Facebook Live to do with mental health, and in this case it's going to be talking about some tips for homeschooling and also some ideas to help you do quick 10-minute de-stressors that a lot of people can do, including the children and teens in the family can do. So I'll try and get this one done quicker than the last one. If you didn't see the last one, it's how to build resilience, but I do include an awful lot of practical tips and advice that parents, adults can use, or 18 plus can use, and tips that you can teach your children in your life right now, right at this minute. So, and ways that you can reach out for advice and help as well. So if you can check that video out. It should be in the links below. So first off, homeschooling. Okay, everybody is going to be very stressed, and naturally so. I've talked about this more in detail in the last blog, in the last vlog, I should say. So do check that out. Your tempers are going to be up. The longer this goes on, the more closer people are going to be living. Things are going to grate. Nerves are going to get frayed. There's going to be explosions. You just can't help it, all right? It's just a fact of life. You have to get proactive here, guys, and manage your own mental health. I'm talking to the parents at this stage. You have to be very proactive in managing your own mental health. And the reason I say that is the kids will pick up on your stress, your anxiety, and your panic. So you need to get a handle on things. And when you can do that, you will you'll make better decisions because you'll be thinking more clearly. As I said in the previous blog, when we get into that cycle of, the cycle of stress and anxiety and panic, it feeds on itself. And if you're constantly watching the media and social media and it's all negative, then again, you're going to feed all into that, and you're going to get caught up in the cycle of procrastination, catastrophizing, and feeling rather helpless, and you could end up spiraling down very quickly. You want, and we want to prevent that. So please don't do that. Take some time for your own mental health during the current period. The other thing I would like to say to you is you're going to need a lot of patience, particularly with the teens. You have your own house rules, and I've talked about setting house rules and how you can get teens involved in doing that. If you haven't done it before, you can check out, I have a lot of parenting videos, and I have a link in the blog to those parenting videos. Into the homeschooling blog, I have a link to a lot of previous blogs and vlogs on helping children with anxiety and helping teens with their emotions as well. So if you want to check those out, do go and have a look at this week's the blog on homeschooling and the mental health one. They have the links to those blogs. You are, as I said, going to have to be more patient with yourself, but also with the teens and with the kids, because we're going to rub up against one another and things will get out of hand very quickly if we don't. The one thing I will say to you is the Leaving Cert and Junior Cert students at the moment are very anxious. I've been talking to a few of them, and they are very anxious about what's going on and what's happening. It's very important, particularly the Leaving Cert students. It's a very important exam, as we all know in Ireland how important it is. But there are teachers reaching out online and offering free advice. They're offering to do emails or phone calls and talk to the children about topics if they do not understand them. If you see that, and I'm going to ask this to every adult out there, if you see a teacher offering resources or offering free advice or free help, I've seen it on Twitter, I've seen it on Facebook, please repost that. Get that out, link it or tag your friends and say, I know your child is doing their Leaving Cert. This teacher is teaching, and they're listing their subjects that they teach, Irish, geography, whatever it is. And they're saying, I will help you. Contact me, do a private message, use your Twitter account to let your child do a private message with this teacher, or to get them to send you a link for some resource that they've done. The same on Facebook, the same on Instagram. Use this as a constructive, positive way you can use this. you know, and the other thing I have done also with the blog on homeschooling is link out to resources that are reliable, and they're professionally done and they're free. You don't have to pay for any of these, and they do have help with regards to all subjects from primary school right through to leaving certificate. Now, I've also linked out to one of the BBC, two of the BBC websites. One is CBeebies, which is for the under 6, and they have activities and games and things like that you can do for the under 6s. And then there's also for the primary school. I've also linked out to their website for primary school, and there's a lot of free resources. You don't have to get any of the, don't think you have to buy resources. You don't. There are free resources up there. Use those. Now, in saying that, first thing we need to do is to listen to the kids. If nothing else in the next few weeks, if you can just sit and listen to your kids and allow them to talk and talk out their worries, that will be really brilliant. This is going to be as much about mental health as anything else. I know we're all worried about finances, so please, and I talked about this in the last vlog, about going to the relevant sites, getting and seeking that help to get, you know, your finances in order and help with finances. And there are people helping out there. But if we can just sit down and listen to them and then talk to them about what's going on, but do it in an age-appropriate manner for them, for your child. You know your child best. Nobody else does. You do. And you can sit down and talk to them, but give them, you know, the information which is relevant and age appropriate. And if you have got a big age group in the household, if you've got a big age gap in kids, you know, make sure the older ones aren't, when their anxiety is showing and maybe they're starting to mouth off, that they are, you know, they're not, the smaller ones aren't in the room and they aren't hearing or picking up on all this. And allow the teens to voice out their concerns and to talk it through. They're not silly. They're on social media. They are watching and listening to everything. And that is another tip I'd say to parents. Watch what they're watching. Listen to what they're listening to. And try and persuade them to cut back on the negative stuff. Try and come back on the feed. You should be doing that as an adult, but also to try and help the teens do that and to help them break that cycle of, you know, of building up their stress and their anxiety, to try and do that. Now, in the homeschooling, try and keep everybody to a regular routine. And I've talked about this in the last blog, so do check that if you're an adult. But if you can keep them to a regular routine. And the thing about homeschooling is make it a shorter school day, or break up the activities over a longer period of time throughout the day. Don't think you have to sit them down at 9 o'clock and they don't finish until 2:30, or you have to keep to the regular school hours. They don't do that. You're not a teacher, so please don't do that. You're not going to be able to do it. You're going to drive yourself nuts if you try and do that. Try and do, for older children, I'm talking about now, you're going to have to judge this yourself. I would have said 9 and older. Even for teens, even those doing the Leaving Cert, they pick a topic and you do 20 minutes. So 20-minute activity, whatever it is, if you've picked maths or Irish or whatever it is, 20 minutes maximum, and then take a break. Take a break. If it's an older child, they can do the Pomodoro method, which is 20 minutes, a 5-minute break or 10-minute break, and then 20 minutes again, another break. And you do that for a maximum of 2 hours, and then they need to take a longer break. Help them do a timetable, particularly for anybody studying. If you can help them do a timetable, a lot of them will be quite capable, even just if you throw an eye over it and see, okay, are they making it achievable? Particularly for the Leaving Cert, if they are the Junior Cert, if they are making what they're trying to learn too much, they're going to spend too long at it. And if you're spending more than 20 minutes on it, your brain shuts down and it can't take in the information anyway. And that's why I say 20 minutes maximum and a break. Make it small and achievable. If they're getting overwhelmed and panicked, bring it back down to very basics in terms of what they're trying to learn. So bring it back down. Don't worry about getting the tenses right in vocabulary. Just learn the words. You know, bring it back down. Think about ways you can bring that topic back down and reach out. If they're really, really struggling, as I said, there are resources and teachers available to talk to online, and they're offering their services for free. For the little ones, and I'm talking to the 5 to 8-year-olds here, 10 minutes will be enough, guys. So a 10-minute exercise. So that's what I mean by small. A 10-minute exercise. You know, they haven't got the attention span. So if you think your 9 and 10-year-old hasn't got the attention span for 20 minutes, you know, you might want to reduce that to 15. If you think you can get an 8-year-old to do 15 minutes or 20 minutes, that's great. But not every child will be able to do the same amount of time. So if you've got a small child and you can't get them to sit still for more than 5 minutes, 5 minutes is enough. You don't have to force them to sit there. You're going to drive yourself nuts. So don't do that. Just do small things. And don't forget, you can use educational tools in other ways. So we think outside the box. So cookery, you know, cooking is using maths, it's using reading, it's using a whole loads of skills there. Board games. Think about the board games you have. Even online gaming can be used as a teaching skill. If you're sitting there with them and you're pointing out things to them, they are learning stuff. Let them teach you too. Engage with them. Let them teach you what they've been learning in school. Get them to show you what they've been learning in school. Now I'm talking about the younger children here, the primary school children here. Even the toddlers, even the 3 to 5-year-olds would be great to teach mommy or daddy and be the teacher. Let them be the teacher. And it's a wonderful way to get them to learn, but they are, you know, you're actually teaching them too, but they don't realize that they're doing it. And don't just focus on the curriculum. Arts, crafts, exercise, get them out. You know, get them doing things in the back garden. They don't have to be cooped up in the house. If you have a back garden, you utilize that back garden right now and use it. Now, I just mentioned there are free books as well online, and I do link out to those free books. Be careful. There is a free books, which is good. You can link through the free books through SchoolNet, allows you to link through to another group, which will give you free online. You'll have to use it either on your tablet or on your laptop, free books that they can read. If you're much more tech savvy, I'm sure you can do a better job than I did. Also, Kindle and the other apps like Kobo, I think it's Google and Apple, have books like Kindle. You can go up and get a Kindle book, but they all have free books. Now, I have put a caveat in there and a warning for people. There are X-rated books on these websites, even Amazon, they all have them. So please don't just tell the kids to go and look on Kindle for free books. I would very much advise you as a parent, even for teens, to go and have a look, get the appropriate free books in the category that you want up, and scan through it and make sure there isn't anything inappropriate on there, and then let them have a look and look with you. Make sure you're supervising them, in other words, in terms of those kind of products. You'd want to be checking those out. I have links out to also for 18 plus and adults. If you are at home, you've lost your routine, and you have unfortunately lost your job or your business, don't think there isn't something you can't do. There are 3 websites, excuse me. There are 3 websites that I've listed out that I know run courses that are free and that can be used for upskilling or to just refresh your skills, and you can be proactive in that way. And you can then say to an employer in a few weeks' time or a few months' time, look, I didn't sit around, I didn't just do nothing. I kept my skills up to date, or I upskilled. These are the courses I did, and they are there. The links are on the homeschool blog, and I have linked that in the description. So, and they can also be used by 16 plus if you as a parent think they are appropriate. Now, very quickly, I'm going to run through about 33 10-minute de-stressors. So take a 10-minute period to help your mental health, 10-minute period that you can put in throughout the day and to add to your routine, things you can be doing for 10 minutes. So the first thing I say to you, as I said before, cut back on the social media and the media. We want to break that cycle of getting caught up and only feeding your anxiety and your stress and your panic. And excuse me, the first thing I would say to you is do a 3-minute breather. Learn to do a 3-minute breather. It's based on the 7-11 technique. I talk about this in more detail in the previous vlog, but it's based on the premise that you breathe in for, say, a count of 4, and you would breathe out for a count of 6. So the idea is when you breathe out for a longer period, it calms the mind down. It automatically calms the mind down. It tells the brain to calm down, that you are not under any threat, and that it is okay, you are safe. So it's the exhale has to be longer. So if you can teach that simple technique, you can teach that to small children. You can make it a game of teaching them. It's meditation, but you can teach them just the breathing game. We can take a few deep breaths. We take it doesn't have to be deep. You just breathe in for a count of 4, breathe out for a count of 6, or breathe in for a count of 3 and breathe out for a count of 5. Or the original technique was to breathe in for a count of 7 and to breathe out for a count of 11. So think about teaching that to the children and the teens, particularly the teens, although a lot of schools are doing mindfulness. So if they've been taught mindfulness in school, or mindfulness walking, or there are different mindfulness techniques that you can learn. If they've been taught any of those in schools, please use them now. Good idea is get them to teach you. So they're now the teacher, and they're teaching you how to do those techniques. So that's going back to using other resources for education. The next thing I would do, and particularly for the ones doing the Junior Cert and Leaving Cert, and adults and kids, is to create playlists. Now, 2 playlists. One is uplifting and one is relaxing. So you have 2 playlists that you can do. And instead of having the radio with all that negative news going on in the background, you play something relaxing, or you play something uplifting. Please think about doing that, which are particularly around children and teens, rather than having the news cycle going 24/7. The next thing then is to, again, podcasts. There's plenty of free podcasts out there, educational and uplifting, or something to do with relaxing. Please do that. Use those to listen to those ones. They're great for listening to 10 minutes. Just listen to it for 10 or 15 minutes. Books on tape is another one, or on, audiobooks. Yoga, if you're already doing yoga or Tai Chi, as I said, do that for 10 minutes. You're thinking of, okay, I'm feeling very stressed. My anger levels maybe are going up. I'm thinking very anxious. These are ideas that you can use to take 10 minutes out and de-stress and decompress and keep the balance instead of going on that downward spiral. If you have been doing yoga or Tai Chi or something like that, again, it's something you can teach to your children, or if somebody else, another adult in the house. It's something you can teach them. Very simple, very basic. Don't forget, you can read for pleasure, guys. Just go and read. It's okay to take downtime and just read for pleasure. And watch your comedy shows, or watch something that's watch your favorite TV show and take that time out. Another quick one for if you're getting very stressed is to step away from everything and to count. Just simply count slowly to 10 and then do it backwards. So you go 1, 2, 3 and up to 10, and then go 10, 9, 8 and back down again. Take that out. Do that a couple of times. Is also very good. Dancing. And the kids are going to think you've gone a bit nuts, and the kids and the teens will be embarrassed. But getting in there, doing a little dance, getting the smaller kids involved, and embarrassing the older kids is okay. It will uplift everybody's mood. It's a great way. Dancing is a great way of uplifting, or singing is a great way of uplifting everybody's mood. Another quick thing is to write down a list of small things that you can do around the house or the garden, and do them. Just take something that's going to take you 5 or 10 minutes, and just get out and do it. Get outside. Writing your gratitude list, 3 things that you're grateful for. Again, I've talked about this. Gratitude is something that you can, you know, you can do very easily, but it also will bounce your mental health up quicker and for longer than any other mental health tool that you have. And people write it off so easily. They go, oh, that's rubbish. Why would I be writing something like that? But even doing that every day it has been found to you know, to be very uplifting to our moods, and it's well researched. Just sitting there doodling, drawing for 10 minutes, you know, take the brain. We're talking about taking the brain, giving the brain a rest and taking time out. As I said, watch some comedy, tell some jokes. The kids can make up some great jokes. Make a list of positive people. Do it now. Make a list of positive people that you can talk to, and then ring them throughout the day. Just don't ring everybody one after the other. Make time during the day to do that. Ring them. And this is about positive people. I'm not talking about the negative people. And call them. Break it up during the day for 10 minutes. The other thing you can do is to, and anybody who's seen the Die Hard movies might have seen this, will be to slip off your shoes and, you know, rub your feet on the ground and feel how this is indoors, and how it feels. So you're getting your brain to think about the sensations that your sole of your foot is making with the floor. And that is basically mindfulness. It's a form of mindfulness, and to just connect. It's a grounding technique as well, that it'll ground you, you know, into where you're standing right now and your present moment, so it can calm you down a lot. Chewing gum is another one. It stimulates a whole range of senses, actually, chewing gum. And again, focusing on your surroundings is a great technique. So if you're thinking you're getting very panicked, just stop whatever you're doing and start to look at what you're, you know, look at your surroundings, or close your eyes and listen to the sounds that you're hearing, or the smells. What's the smells you're going? It's a very quick grounding technique that can reduce our stress. Disconnect from media and social media, as I've said, but you can also connect in positive ways as well. Look at photographs of family holidays or anything that you find uplifting. Looking at positive images from around the world can also be very uplifting. Squeeze a foam ball if you're getting angry. And other angry techniques is to step away from everybody. And the first one you can do is wall pushing. So you go up to the wall, you place both hands on the wall, and you visualize who or what you're angry about and push into the wall. And you do that a few times, it can release, it's releasing the physical energy of the anger out of your body, and you're pushing it away. Don't forget then to write. The second technique is to write it all down and to get it out. And then to finish that up is to do a 3-minute breather, to go back to that the 4-6 breathing technique for about 3 minutes. And that should help your anger. Punching pillows, all of those techniques, again, do not punch pillows or anything else in front of children. Go away and do this in private. You know, read and listen to inspirational quotes or journal. If you see an inspirational quote, take 10 minutes out to you know, to write about them. Spend time with your pets. Get the kids spending time with the pets, looking after the pets. It's a great thing to do. Any sort of quick 10-minute exercise that you can do, like get the kids out doing jumping jacks, you know, things that they'll move around. Think about, I've listed out a few of them. A quick 10-minute walk. Again, you're getting the energy out of your body, you're getting the stress, the anxiety, and you're getting the, you know, all that excess energy and anger out of your body. The other thing is just to sit and relax in the back garden and listen to all the sounds. Even if it's a dry day, wrap up warm and go out and sit in your back garden for 10 minutes just to decompress and get away from everybody. Do something nice for somebody else. Simple thing to do, even just making somebody a cup of tea or coffee. Visualize a safe place. If you can sit and visualize a safe place for 10 minutes, it's also very handy. Do gardening for 5 or 10 minutes. Again, get out and do the gardening in your back garden. A quick 10-minute face or neck massage, a shower or a bath. Bath is better if you can stay in there for longer. And don't forget, and I'll finish up on this, there are a lot of groups starting up, and there's already a lot of groups on social media with regards to mental health and addictions. They're all up there now. And don't forget to mute or block the negative people. And I'll leave it there at that for today. I hope people have found these vlogs of use, and I will talk to you all next week. Thank you.